I go to the matches that night. I'm 3 hours early, and I walk in. There's this guy sitting on a bench, tanned up, smoking a cigarette, beautiful suit on. And he looks up at me. He's reading the book, and he sees me, and he closes the book, puts it on the bench, takes the cigarette, puts it out, comes walking over to me, and he said, "I'm Jack Brisco, NWA World Heavyweight Champion." I said, "Yes, you are."
Yes, you are.
And I was, like set back.
Take your breath, of course.
So I went to tell him my name. I said, "My name's Bob Reed." "I know who you are." "You know who I am?" He said, "Anybody beat up Billy Robinson, I need to know who they are."
The word got out.
Like that to me.
Shooter.
I didn't know what that meant.
You know what it
I
meant,
had no idea what that meant.
But you were a shooter from that point on, huh?
He said, "Are you here for a while?" I said, "My first night." He said, "Well, I'm here for 2 weeks. Would you mind if I rode with you?" I said, "Well, I've got an old pickup truck." He said, "That's even better." He said, "You got some country music in the pickup truck?" I said, "I'll find some." So my first 2 weeks in the business, I rode around with Jack Brisco. And my first character was beautiful.
With Jack Brisco.
With Jack Brisco, the world champion.
The world champion.
And my first character was beautiful Bobby Remus. I had long blonde hair. Superstar Billy Graham was my hero. I had tie-dye, different colored outfits on. And after we...
This was your first outfits and character stuff?
Right.
And it was beautiful?
Beautiful Bobby Remus.
Beautiful Bobby Remus.
So we get done, and I take Jack to the airport. And he said, "It's been an honor to meet you." He said, "I see nothing but success for you, but get rid of the beautiful Bobby." He said, "That's not you." He said, "You're playing somebody, you're playing yourself." He said, "You need to find a character for yourself."
Find something else.
And that's how I developed Sarge.
Where did Sarge come from?
Sarge came from, I had to, I got into the business pretty good, and then I had to get out for a while. My mother got sick. She got cancer. So my dad called me and said, "You got to come home and take care of the business. I got to be with your mom." I said, "By all means." So finally I was doing some things, and Virginia said to me, "Would you like to go to Hawaii for 6 weeks? Ed Francis is having a tour and he needs a masked man." I said, "Well, I don't have a mask on me." He said, "Well, I'll get you some masks." I said, "But I don't think I can go. I've got to run my dad's business."
Right.
He says, "Okay, that's fine." So I go home, tell my mother and father about it at dinner, and my mother said, "Bobby, I'm not dying tomorrow.
Yeah.
You got a chance to go to Hawaii for 6 weeks.
Go.
Go,
God,
So,
you got your mother's blessing, so that's wonderful.
So she made me some masks and some robes, and I kind of looked like Darth Vader a little bit.
Right.
And I wondered.
So you're searching for your gimmick. You're searching for a gimmick for a character for yourself.
Right. Sergeant. So off I go to Hawaii, and my wife comes in the last 2 weeks out of there. And I wrestled Rick Martel almost every night, so that was a blessing.
Yes.
Just a great knowledge thing. And so I get back, and Virginia says, "What's this I hear you're the greatest masked man of all time?" I said, "Well, I know about that." He said, "Well, if Ed Francis says you're the greatest, you have to be."
Right.
I said, "Well, thank you." He said, "I'm having a little problem with my guy, Don Jardine, and he's the Super Destroyer, and I was wondering if you would take his place." And I said, "Well, I don't know if I can
Do that.
So, "Well, I've got an airplane. It's 8 passengers. If I can get you home every night, could you do it?" So I talked to my dad. So my dad said, "Yeah, as long as you get the crew started and get back every night, you go ahead." So Vern said, "We don't wrestle every night. We're only like 2 nights, 3 nights a week." So off I went as Super Destroyer Mark II. And Lord Alfred Hayes was my manager. But I didn't know the politics of the business.
Right.
And so Don Jardine was kind of like a real Steve Austin.
Right.
He fought the law, and he always won,
Right.
But Don Jardine fought for the boys.
Right.
And he would go to Virginia and say, "You didn't pay that guy enough," or, things like that. And so when I came in, they fired him, and I walk in, everybody's like, who's this guy, you know?
Right. Who's this guy? Who's this big man?
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, once I showed him I could do the job, you know, that wasn't a problem. But then finally, I was out roofing with my father. It started pouring out rain. So he said, go on home. No sense doing anything today. So I go home, flip on the TV. Back then we didn't have remotes. So I just pull the knob.
Yeah.
pull the knob, and the first thing I hear is the Marine Corps hymn. And I look down, and in black and white is a movie called The D.I. with Jack Webb. And I went, oh my God. And I sat back and I watched that whole movie. And because it was made for television, it was actually a movie, and then they put it on television, you couldn't say any bad words.
No.
Any swearing,
Right.
whatever they call it. And so I got to watch. I said, what a great character for a hero in professional wrestling, a drill instructor.
Tremendous.
The Marine Corps, you know.
Sure.
So,
You get to wear the camouflage, so you're thinking all this stuff.
Right. So as soon as the movie's over, I jump in my pickup truck downtown. I go to an Army Navy surplus store and pick up a campaign cover, a whistle, some aviator glasses. I got a cigar and a swagger stick. And my wife comes home from work, and I dressed up.
You got it on.
I had it on. Didn't have the name yet.
No.
I had Bob Slaughter. I always liked the name Bob Slaughter. Slaughter, I like the name Slaughter.
Where did they just from slaughtering somebody? Just that was the name you did like.
Yeah.
So that was part of the name you kept.
After Jack told me to think of another character, I was thinking.
You started thinking, I like that.
So my wife said, "What are you
What are you
Halloween?
doing?
Where
are you going?"
I said, "No, this is a new character," and I started like doing the character for her. She said, I don't know. So next day my dad calls, 0400, stay home, pouring out rain yet. So I said, well, I'm going to go down to the wrestling office for a guy in his office. I go down, and he's not in. So I see Wally Cargill. And he said, hey, Bob, how's your mom? I said, good. What's going on? I said, I got this new character I think I want to show her. He said, well, show it to me. So I show it to him. He goes, you know, we've had G.I. Joes, and we've had this guy, and the Army guys, and the Navy, and the Air Force, and it just, it doesn't really
work or whatever, right?
I said, okay. So I dejected, I go to leave, and elevator opens up, and there's Berghain. He said, hey, Bob, how's it going? How's your dad? How's your mom doing? I said, oh, she's doing great. Dad's fine. Well, what are you doing here? I said, well, I had this new idea for a character, and I showed it to Wally. He didn't think it was too good. He said, well, don't always believe what Wally has to say. Come on in.
Let me see it.
Yeah, so I sit and wait for him to get all his calls, that he had waiting. So finally he says, okay, show me this character. So I put everything on, and I start doing it for him. And he jumps up from behind his desk, takes my campaign cover off, puts it on, puts my glasses on, takes my swagger stick, and starts doing it for me, to me.
Better than you can do at this stage.
He's doing the drill instructor to me. He said, I hated my drill instructor. He was in the Marine Corps.
So
I hated him.
It ignited something
He was pretending to be his drill instructor.
That's great.
He said, I love that. One of the calls I just had was from Harley Race. He needs a new heel, and you'd be perfect. Go on down there. I said, well, I can't. Really, I'm still helping my dad with his business. He said, well, when you can, you tell me, I'll call her. So finally, my mother passed on. And so he calls Harley. I go down. I went in and did a promo. He said, well, let's see your promo. So Harley and Bob Geigel, Pat O'Connor were the three guys there. So I'm doing this promo, and I see Harley was in the military. He smoked like this.
He did. I remember that.
And he had a big callus where the
flame would burn him.
So he walks over to me and he goes, "Kid, I like the character." I said, oh, thank you.
It's a huge compliment from Harley Race.
Points over at Geigel and O'Connor, he goes, I want to be married to this guy. And I didn't know what that meant. I went, wait a minute. You know,
Well,
he
I'm
said,
straight.
No, that means you and I are going to wrestle each other every night. So if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you, because Harley Race taught me everything about this business.
So Harley Race is
Harley
your
Race.
guy. That's
Yeah.
who you talk about when you make a $10,000 paycheck or
Oh, yeah.
anything like that. You
Anytime
think
I put my
about
head on the pillow, I thank Harley Race, because
I didn't
he was
know
just
that.
one of them, you know.
But
Other
still,
people
Harley
gave me
was the main
opportunities.
one, though. I mean, right?
Other
He was
people
the-
gave me opportunities, but Harley showed me. And Jack Brisco told me
Right.
to
But Harley showed
showed
you.
me in
Showed
the
you.
ring, because I wrestled him every night. You know, one time we wrestled in St. Joe, Missouri, 1 hour
Wrestled
to
there.
a draw. We went 6 days, 1 hour to a draw. We went back to St. Joe to start all over. We did 90 minutes to a draw. Then we went back and did 2 hours to a draw.
And the people,
in
crazy.
3 weeks we did,
And these people stayed with it.
and they stayed with it.
Isn't that
Harley
amazing,
taught
the
me how to
difference?
do it. And
Right.
he taught, he slow it down, kid, slow it down, slow it down. All those little things that I learned from Harley.
Right.
And
then when to
finally,
come?
The last time the 4th time we went to, we had a no time limit. And he said, don't worry, kid, we won. So we went about 35 minutes, and he said, you call. I said, what? He said, you call the match now. I've been doing all the work, now you call the match. And that's how I learned the
That
business.
was a big step there. Did you take the match over?
Oh, yeah.
Was it successful?
Yeah. And he took
Harley
my
Race.
hand. He said, Jack was right about you.
Wow.
Jack was told
Harley
me
Race's blessing is a big one, bro. That's
what can
huge.
you do?